Hello, and welcome to the Dirt Road to Recovery. My name is Kyle Higgins. I am the creator, also your host for the Dirt Road to Recovery. If you would like to watch this recording on video, you can go to my YouTube at DR, then the number 2 Recovery. That's DR2 Recovery. That is the YouTube channel. I wanted to film my recordings when recording the podcast so you can see the emotion in my face. I know when you get on and look, you'll see it's kind of jumbled here a little bit. My face is a little covered, but it's important, I think, for some people to see the emotion in my face when I talk about addiction and mental health and recovery in today's society. That is why I'm here. I created the Dirt Road to Recovery because I graduated from a recovery program myself, January 6th, 2016 to February 17th of 2017. I was in a recovery program, so approximately 13 months and 2 weeks. It's the only program I ever entered. And since then, I've been doing pretty great. I have found a love and a peace in life that has become so blissful, like nirvana, and so beautiful that I want to put my heart in everybody else's chest. That is going from an IV heroin user. I started off with Oxycontin through a doctor from a bad bull riding injury and continued to snowball, eventually using needles and injecting heroin. Then I got to using coke and heroin. Those are called speedballs when you mix the cocaine with the heroin and inject it. That is called a speedball. After a lot of dark days and homeless nights and jail time, I eventually graduated up to meth and heroin in the needle. So I was shooting up with meth and heroin every day. I was dying. I was also getting ready to go to prison. I was homeless. I was on probation in 5 different counties in 2 different states. I had track marks all up and down my arm. I wasn't healthy. And I had a family who knew everything. They knew what was happening, but nobody knew how to help. So I created the Dirt Road to Recovery for everyone. Dirt Road to Recovery is for addicts. For those of you who are struggling right now, maybe even with a needle in your arm or a crack pipe in your mouth. For those of you struggling right now, I'm sorry. I've been there and I know how it is. I know the darkness and I know the demons because I've been right there in the thick of it with a gun to my head, just wanting to pull the trigger, and I couldn't do it. I thought about my family, and it just wasn't okay to. It wasn't okay to end my life and hurt so many others. Just to get rid of something that was very painful. But that wasn't the reason I wanted to end everything. The reason I wanted to end everything was because I was a drug addict that was not in control. I couldn't control anything. I couldn't control my mind. I couldn't control my body, and I couldn't control my soul. I woke up every day knowing that I was going to have to lie or cheat or steal from somebody that was a complete stranger or somebody that I truly knew and loved, just to feel normal. In high school, I was a 4-sport athlete. I received so many, all-state honors and homecoming king and prom king, and I was very well loved. 2011, I was asked to be on the reality TV show, the ABC hit series, The Bachelorette, with Ali Fedikowski. In season 6, and then 5 years later, I was homeless on the streets of Denver begging for food and for warmth. During my struggle, I used to get on social media and YouTube. I used to just look for videos that might help, find something that just gave me hope that I could recover. I'm sorry. I could recover and get out of what I was doing. because I didn't think I could. Nobody knew how to help me, and I was begging. I was begging so many people for help. I was begging cops. When I would get arrested, I would beg doctors when I'd go in for infections. I would beg social workers. I would beg so many people, and unless you got money, there's truly nothing out there. Mental health has gotten better. Medicaid is now covering. I believe it's three 10-day recoveries a year and one 30-month in-house program a year. That's here in Colorado, so please don't quote me for any other states. So it is getting better, but there needs to be more. So I created the Dirt Road to Recovery for that person, like I said, who's struggling right now, just like I was searching for a YouTube video or something to give them hope that they can recover. Recovery is 100% possible for everybody, and I promise you from the bottom of my heart that if I made it through the violence and the demonic, dark, just if I made it through what I can, you can make it through what you can, and I promise you that. And I'm speaking from my heart when I say it, and that's what I'm here to let you know. And that's why the Dirt Road to Recovery is here, is to let every single one of you know that you're worth it. I promise you, you're worth it, and you can recover. It's also for the families and the friends and for the loved ones who are affected by addiction. You may not be personally struggling yourself, but everybody, and I mean everybody, now knows someone. Everybody knows someone who's struggling with a mental health disease, whether it be addiction or an eating disorder. There's so many different mental health diseases right now. I strictly focus on addiction and recovery, but there's just so many suffering right now, and there needs to be more. Earlier, I spoke about wanting to help, and I've been trying to help since I graduated my recovery program in 2017. I've been wanting to do more, including trying to go back to school, but really nobody in recovery will allow you to help unless you have certifications or unless you have degrees. You really can't even get in. You really can't even sit down to talk with anyone. So I created a voice here on social media, this podcast, this YouTube, because I can help, and I'm great at helping people, at helping people see that they're worth it, that you're truly, truly, truly needed on this earth, and that you're truly special in life. Us addicts and alcoholics, and those who suffer right now, you're in some dark times. There's no doubt about it. Right now you're in a darkness, and it's hard to pull out, and that might be why you're listening to this podcast. But I promise you, once you do pull out of that darkness, once you start taking the steps to move forward in life and becoming that productive member of society, in no way in hell will I'll ever say be normal, because never be normal. These normal people right now are more sick than most. So don't ever go back to being normal, but you have a chance to pull out of this darkness that most people have never seen. Addiction is a darkness that most people have never seen. It's almost a full-on demonic possession. In my addiction, I couldn't control anything. I knew what I was going to do every day, and it was either physically hurt somebody or lie to someone or steal from someone just to feel normal. You no longer use the drug to feel good or get high. It's just to maintain normality throughout the day, so you're not puking or shitting everywhere, or your eyes aren't watering nonstop and sneezing and vomiting and shaking and sweating, yawning. There's so much that goes into withdrawals. It's almost like a completely different dimension. And to wake up every day knowing you're going to go through that unless you hurt somebody, it's a dark place, and I know right where you're at. But I want you to know where I'm at, and where I'm at is such a beautiful place, because after seeing that darkness, you no longer wake up every day stressed out or angry at the world because you got some bills to pay or you got a few things to do. You wake up every day just happy to be alive. You learn to become grateful for those bills. You learn to become grateful for things to do because, 8 years ago, I was putting a gun in my mouth and just wanting to end everything. And so to have a few bills to pay and some things to do is quite the miraculous step up in my book. But I've even gone further than that. I've developed a relationship with God that I feel every day in my heart. I truly feel Him beside me every. Excuse me. I shouldn't be alive. I am. I shouldn't be alive, but I am. And I'm here to tell you that life is so beautiful. And the Dirt Road to Recovery is here to tell you that life is so beautiful. I want to remind you all of your full potential. I want to give you all resources. I want to help you through anything that I can possibly help you through. I want to answer questions, emails, anything that anybody has. I've been through it all. The violence that it takes to get the drug that you need just to survive. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about recovery in general. The way people in recovery are being treated and handled right now. God bless everybody trying to help, but not everybody trying to help. Actually, the majority of people trying to help in recovery have never been there. What they're trying to help with is a bunch of knowledge and books and a bunch of data and bullshit that's been thrown at them through these universities and recovery programs and recovery specialists, seminars, and everybody's got something to say about drug addicts and alcoholics, and movies depict us to be the most awful people in the world, and we need help. A lot of times I think, thankfully, I've never been to war. I've never been to combat, but I have a lot of friends, a lot of Marine friends who have. And I know for a fact that they're most comfortable talking to someone, a therapist, a counselor, who has been to combat, who has been to war, someone they feel that they can relate to. It's the same thing with addiction. It's nice to talk to someone who's been there before, someone who's been in the trenches, someone who has felt the depression, who's felt the needle. Someone who has lost literally everything and been homeless and starving. That's me. And I want to help out as much as I can because I've definitely been there. Would you rather go into battle with somebody who's been there before, someone who's charged the beaches of Normandy? Or would you rather go into Normandy with somebody who's been reading books and reading about combat and how to charge the beaches of Normandy? And I already know your answer. You don't need to write me an email and tell me your answer. I know your answer, and I'm hoping I can be that person for you. I'm hoping that I can understand and relate to you as best or as good as anyone else can. Obviously, I don't know what you're feeling and what you're going through. Whether you're addicted to a substance right now and maybe going through withdrawal, or someone's father or mother or cousin or brother, sister, aunt, uncle, someone sitting here listening to a little bit of my story, probably in tears, wondering how to help your loved one, how to get them out of what they're going through right now. I can tell you this, your loved one going through addiction and suffering from substance abuse right now, everything that they're saying and everything that they're doing is not them. They're not themselves. They're completely under the control of a substance. Their brain right now believes that they need that substance to survive. So their brain is literally doing whatever it can, and is doing whatever it takes to get that substance, because their brain is convinced that once they stop taking that substance, they're going to die. And their body makes them feel like once they stop taking that substance, you're going to die. Because I felt the effects of withdrawal. I put a needle in my arm at 2 p.m. and I showed up to the recovery program I graduated from at 5 p.m. That needle had cocaine and heroin in it. So I withdrew from cocaine, heroin, meth. Tobacco wasn't allowed at this program, so tobacco, marijuana, and anytime I could get a hold of a Xanax or any type of benzo, I would take it too. I guess you could say I was kind of a drug dumpster. If you knew where I came from, those words would shock you. My parents are high school sweethearts from a little town in El Dorado, Kansas called a little town in Kansas called El Dorado. Drugs and alcohol weren't even prevalent when I was growing up. I never saw my parents drunk. I never saw marijuana. I never even smelt marijuana. Going into high school, I had some friends that would smoke it occasionally. It was, I guess, the first time I ever saw marijuana was high school. But so I want to help. I want to share my story. Can you please be quiet for a second? I'm here to help. I'm here to share my story. I'm here to relate to you. I'm here to let you know that recovery is 100% possible for everybody. I'm also here to ruffle feathers because I'm not happy. I'm very sad. I'm very sad at the medications and the pharmaceuticals they're pushing on recovery. I'm very sad at programs and places that won't let people help without certifications or degrees. I get a little bit upset with the 12-step program. I love how it helps get people sober and keeps people sober. But I don't agree with people looking in the mirror and calling themselves an addict or an alcoholic. I don't believe in white-knuckling sobriety for the rest of your life. I'm here to teach you about some tools and some techniques that'll help you get over your addiction and recover for good. No more substances. No more calling yourself an addict or an alcoholic every single day. No more sitting in a group every day if you can't make it and worrying that you're going to relapse. There's so much more to life. There's so much more to life than recovery. You don't have to be in recovery every single day of your life, and people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but you don't. You really, truly don't. I have an incredible life. I occasionally have a drink. I usually don't get drunk, but that's not because I'm afraid to. It's just because I don't like alcohol and I don't want to. It ruins the rest of my week. As I told you before, I have relapsed. I've taken a fentanyl pill or two here or there and immediately jumped back on track. I bartend the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. I bartend Myrtle Beach Bike Rally. I do everything that I want in life because I fully recovered, and you're fully capable of fully recovering as well. So I'm here. The Dirt Road to Recovery is here to help you. The Dirt Road to Recovery is here to educate you. The Dirt Road to Recovery is here for everybody. You can go to my Twitter. Here I go with all the social media stuff. I'm not very good at it, so bear with me here. Twitter is at DirtRD2Recovery. The Instagram is DR2Recovery. The YouTube channel is also DR2Recovery. And you can check out everything at www.thedirtroadtorecovery.com. Again, www.thedirtroadtorecovery.com. I also have a personal social media Instagram page. That's spiritual_gangster with a UR. Or you can go to my Facebook page and it's just Kyle Higgins. I got a motorcycle if you wonder what my profile picture looks like. But this is my first recorded, raw, unedited. You'll probably even hear me yell at my daughter who comes through the door. And that's how this podcast is going to be. It's going to be raw. It's going to be unedited. It's going to be unfiltered. You're going to get the truth about my story. You're going to get the truth about addiction. You're going to get the truth about what people are doing and the government's doing. You're going to get the truth about pharmaceuticals. You're going to get the cold dark truth about mental health and addiction and what people are truly going through these days. So I fucking love you. I'm excited for this. This is going to be a fun journey. I hope you all subscribe and join, because I have so much to share and I have so much to offer. And I hope you have a beautiful day.